Good morning. How's everyone doing today? This is a weird room to actually present like this in, so apologies in advance as you have to like turn your head and all that. So I think the three of us just want to introduce ourselves, and then Stephanie's going to kick us off. So my name is Clay Schwinn. I'm Director of Academic Services for the School of Nursing and Health Studies here at UW-Bothell. I've been a UW person for about 30 years. I came here as a freshman, fall of 1988. And so my understanding is this is all your first year here as well. Is that correct? Is there anybody who's in their second year? And I'm not talking credit-wise, I'm just like, this is your first year on campus. Okay, so welcome, fellow Huskies. It's really exciting that you're expressing some interest in nursing and health studies. So let me go to Kristen next.
Hi, I'm Kristen Lorek, and I have been at UW-Bothell here for just about 2 years, but I've worked in higher ed for much longer than that. You all get bonus points for coming to early morning sessions, so good job. Keep yourself pat back. Nice work, being awake. I am a transfer admission advisor here at UW-Bothell, so I work in the admissions office with transfer students who are seeking admission to nursing and health studies. I know a fair amount about the application process for both majors, and that's why I'm here, because I'm able to be a resource for you in that regard.
I'm Stephanie Barone. I'm the pre-health advisor, and I also work with pre-major advising, so I may have seen some of you at orientation this past summer. I do a lot of pre-health work at that event. I've been here for about 5 years, but I'm a retired community college advisor in the community college system for a long time before that. Would you like me to just
Please
keep
kick us
going?
off.
Okay. So really today's session is going to be about nursing and health studies and those majors, but I usually come to this one just to let you know about pre-health services. How many of you are even considering going into a health-related career in the future? Okay, some of you, I see some half hands maybe. Okay, if you are thinking at all in the future about going into medical school, dental school, pharmacy, anything related to health that would require an advanced degree after you get your bachelor's degree, I can help you with that. That's my job here, is to work with students, help you understand some of the prerequisites you might need, how to prepare and be a competitive applicant, how you go through the application process, what's it like to take the MCAT for medical school. So if you're even considering all of that, you might want to come and talk to me and we can go through some of that together. I also have a great website. It's just under pre-health, under the main UW-Bothell site that you can use to get started if you have questions. And I also want to just do a quick plug for health studies as a major for pre-health. So a lot of times students who are planning to go on, to medical, dental, pharmacy school, what have you, students think, oh, I have to get a bachelor's in biology or chemistry, or I have to do something related to science, and that's actually not true. So when they talk about health studies, think about that as an optional major. I have a lot of students going pre-health who are majoring in that. Actually, probably health studies and biology are the top two, and then chemistry. So it's a great degree, which I'll let them kind of speak to that, but it does include, it can include a lot of the sciences that you need for those programs. So consider it. It's a great program. And how many of you are even considering medical school? Okay. I wanted to pass out a flyer tomorrow afternoon. I am doing a session. Anyone else medical school? Even thinking about it? This is a workshop that's going on tomorrow afternoon. And it's about an hour and a half where I'm just going to talk about what it takes to get to medical school, how you should prepare, things you need to be thinking about. So I'll leave a few more just over here on the side in case you decide at the end to take one. This information is also on my website. But if you're even thinking about it, come on over to that workshop tomorrow afternoon, 3:30 to 5. Okay. So go ahead and turn it back over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Stephanie.
Yeah.
You're doing stellar work.
Well, thank you.
And that website is fantastic. You weren't just making that up.
Done. Yeah. Okay.
So we're going to spend a few minutes learning about kind of pathways within nursing and health studies. So, but before we get going, oh, here we go. There we go. Aha! Health is all about choices. And so just to illustrate this, I want everybody to stand up. You can leave your stuff where it is. Stand up. Okay. First question, and we're going to move kind of left and right this way. So if you are a dog person, move to my left, so closer to the screen. And if you're a cat person, move to my right, so closer to the windows over here. A dog person, cat person. Are you allergic?
Yeah.
You are? My spouse is allergic, and so but she still loves dogs, which is sort of the thing. Tell me more about that.
Personally, I'm scared of dogs, and then I hate cats.
You know, oh, wait, are you cat people?
We're in the middle.
You're in the middle. You're sort of semi-cat people. You're a cat person. Yeah, it's very interesting. Like when I used to do this, like it was a pretty even split. Now, for some reason, cats are really on the outs, right? Okay, next one. Hamburger to my left, or hot dog. If you'd rather have a hamburger, head to my left. If you'd rather have a hot dog, move to my right.
Oh, the
Oh, that's-
burgers.
None? Even vegan, like veggie?
Veggie
hamburger?
burger?
Veggie hot dog?
Black bean
Tofu
burger.
No,
burger?
okay, there we go. All right, yeah, like hot dogs also about the same cat. Ice cream or cake? Ice cream or cake? Which would you rather have? Like, hey, it's my birthday, I'm gonna go get,
Cake and ice cream.
oh,
Ice cream cake.
the ice cream cake, oh, yeah. You like to have both, it's split in the middle. Okay, Shakira, over to my left. Or, yeah, let's say, oh, look, they're just,
Whoa, that's 2 houses.
like, maybe people don't even know who Shakira is. Like, this is probably older. All right, excellent, excellent. Okay, now we're starting getting into the health-related ones. Gluten-free, right? So avoid that wheat thing. Or gluten, please. Like, give me all your gluten. Okay. Oh, a little milling about over there. Adidas and Nike hanging out, another difficult choice. Soap and water, like every day, or Purell. Soap and water, Purell. It's like like alcohol, yeah. All right, good one, good one. Thinking about health and putting yourself in the role of a healthcare provider, do you think you would prefer direct patient contact? Or are you a little more interested in kind of administrative work or maybe research? So, direct patient contact or research and administrative? Look at that. People like getting their hands on. All right. Nice. Very good. And then, oops, I need to go back. I had one more. Get out of there. Thinking about continuing your work in health, would you mind going to 4 more years of school, let's say medical school, dental school, that sort of thing? Or would you rather just start your career right after undergraduate? So 4 more years of school by the screen there, undergraduate. A little more even split. Okay, these are the kinds of questions that we ask you to engage with, right? They're very simple all along the way. And as you go through your time in the next 4 years here, you're going to spend some time making a lot of little decisions just along these lines, right? And this is how you start to make your degree. What's your name? Sana. And what's your name? So how do I know the difference between Sana and Javon when I'm looking at their transcript? They're making little decisions along the way. Maybe somebody's interested in health, one of them's interested in health, and they've taken the kind of chem, biology, microbiology, virology track, and the other one's taken the more communications and studying population health and wants to go out and teach people how to be healthier, right? So you're making all these little decisions along the way. Go ahead and again, head back to your seats. So I'm not going to spend really any time talking about this other than to say we are the School of Nursing and Health Studies, and we do offer 2 nursing degrees. We have an RN to BSN completion program. So this is really for students who started at the community college, earned their RN degree, and then are coming to the University of Washington Bothell to complete that bachelor's degree in nursing in hopes of advancing their career, maybe building their skills, really starting to learn much more about broader issues in health. Master's in nursing is a graduate degree that really has a couple different areas of emphasis at UW-Bothell. Administrative leadership is certainly one of those. So that question about, like, am I interested in maybe administration or research, the MN really provides them the skills they'll need to do that research, do some advanced practice. There's a lot of focus on kind of getting out and doing research in the community in that MN program. So what do we study in nursing and health studies? Well, so let's switch over to health studies now. What do we study in health studies? Really predictors of health. We look at policies that impact your health. We really apply, especially at Bothell, this social justice lens to our examination of how a population, how a community becomes healthy, stays healthy. And then we work hard to evaluate the research that's out there and understand some of the complexities that go into how is one person who lives in a community healthy and another person not. Some of the potential career opportunities that our graduates have gone on to, they work in public health or global health services. They do a lot in the kind of nonprofit and community sector, supporting people who are trying to increase their health or addressing particular health concerns. We have a faculty member who's really looking closely at kind of the reemergence of tuberculosis and trying to begin to understand how did that happen. You know, here's a disease that we really haven't heard of for a long time. How do we start to understand this disease more so we can understand current disease issues? Everybody's heard about the measles outbreak in Washington, right? Have you heard about this? Yeah. So, you know, things around understanding how these diseases start to reemerge, educating the population about the values of vaccines and things like that. So, they go out and they do outreach and community care, and then certainly, as Stephanie mentioned, going on to graduate work in medicine, in dentistry, social work, public health. Anything you want to add to that, Kristen? So far, so good. Okay, great. So I'd love for you to connect with somebody sitting next to you, a partner, and I want you to consider this question. Is access to health care a fundamental human right? Why or why not? And then if you were in charge, let's say you ran the show, where would you divert money from in order to fund healthcare? So a couple of questions there. Turn to a partner. Let's spend maybe 2-3 minutes talking about this. You guys know how to talk, right? Yeah, okay.
I don't know, like everyone should like be able to have that.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a really good thing to have in society, but I don't feel like it's.
No.
I mean, like among like a land of like freedom of expression and speech and stuff like that, I don't think it's as much as a universal right as those things. I mean, like when you think about a society, like you know, who has rights to certain things, like I don't know. It's just one of those things that I feel like aren't. Yeah, well, I don't know. It's certainly one of the most expensive rights to like put in place because yeah, that's a lot of I don't know.
All right. What did you come up with? So the question, is access to healthcare a fundamental human right? What do you think? What's your name with the vest? Sorry.
Harris.
Taryn?
Harris.
Thank you. And is it a fundamental human right?
I believe that it should be, however, some sort of responsibility should fall on the person that gets injured.
Interesting, okay.
Some sort of balance has to be there.
Yeah, so there is this idea in health and healthcare about personal responsibility, right? Don't start smoking, eat healthier foods, those types of things. But then somebody who maybe is suffering from a disease should have health care access. Is that what you're suggesting?
More or less, yeah.
More or less. Okay, great. Another thought. Who else? I'm going to move to the other side here. There's some sort of weird sound coming from here. In UW sweatshirt. What's your? Kenzie, what do you think?
I think that it should be a human right, and sadly not everyone gets that right these days.
Yeah. And did you give some thought to where you might divert money from? What did you come up with?
The military.
The military?
We use more money in the U.S. than the top 3 military bases in the world for
Yeah.
other countries. So
Yeah.
we have so much money going into that. That's a key. If you took a little bit away to put towards healthcare, it's only really going to be that much.
Great. Anybody else in the group come up with military as sort of like where they might divert money from? Were you guys partners? No, you guys were. Oh, excellent. Yeah, okay. What were some of the other places you might divert money from? Yeah.
I wouldn't say so much as divert money, is that someone has to be fitting the bill, and it's most likely going to be taxpayers.
Sure.
money That's going to be fitting the bill.
Right, but if you could divert money rather than, because more taxes is sort of a politically charged issue, but if we're talking about the priorities, what do you think?
I'm not sure exactly why the military needs that much. Maybe they need that much. I'm not sure. I mean,
Yeah.
they have a set budget and they need a certain amount. I mean, I'm not familiar with how the government runs their budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing they have is that the U.S. military operates in like a huge number of areas around the world, and most of the military is only operating in sort of local regional.
Yeah. Great. Okay, you're getting a flavor for the types of things we discuss in health studies. So, if you like this thought experiment of like, what if I took money from the prisons and gave it to healthcare? What if I took money from the roads, right? I think somebody's access to health is a more fundamental right than their access to be able to drive traffic free. And so I'm going to divert money from the roads, but as Kristen pointed out, well then how do you get to your doctor's appointment, right? Okay, so those are the types of things that we consider in this area. Kristen's going to spend a little time talking about health studies admissions.
Yeah, so I have a little bit of insight for you. You've all applied to the University of Washington Bothell and you've all been admitted, so you know how to have a successful admission process, yes? Yes. And now that you're here at UW Bothell, what is your first academic goal? Aside from learning and, all that stuff. Apply to your major, correct. We want you to progress, and we want you to move toward graduation. And to move toward graduation, the first step is to be admitted to your major. Admission to your major is based on application. For health studies, we admit students in autumn, winter, and spring quarters, so you can apply for any of the 3 quarters. Admissions is capacity constrained. That is fun UW language. Who knows what capacity constrained means? Yes. Correct. There's only a certain number of seats in every class. Just like this room here, there's only a certain number of seats. So we can't take more, even if there were 100 people in line out there, we would say, well, we have room for this many. So we get upwards of 75 to 80 applications per quarter, and we seek to admit about 40 to 48 students. So unfortunately, there are some hard decisions that have to be made. But the good news is we employ a holistic review of your application. So students who are applying can know that we are looking at your academic ability as well as your alignment with the major. Your academic ability is based on your previous coursework. So your UW coursework, your community college coursework, and if you have Running Start credit. No? No Running Start? Great. Well, we're gonna look primarily at your UW records then, and make sure that you have grades that predict strong showing in major classes. The admission process is all about a responsibility to you. We want to make sure that we can admit you to the major and that you can actually do well. We would hate for you to come into the major and really not be able to articulate these kinds of viewpoints and be able to discuss. So we want to make sure that you have that academic ability. Prerequisites for the major include BRIT 134 and 135, so make sure you take those this year. You also need to make sure you have a QSR course. It can be any course. So statistics is required for the health studies major. So if you took a statistics class, that would count as your QSR and as your statistics requirement in the major. Who likes efficiency? Yeah, you have 2 requirements in 1 class. That's great. So try and do that if you can. That will help your academic side. Now we look equally at your personal statement. Your personal statement needs to show an alignment with the major. So we want to admit you knowing that you can be successful in the classes. We also want to admit you knowing that the degree is going to help you get where you want to go. If you apply to this major and talk all about aeronautical engineering, I might give you a phone call and say, I think you might have clicked the wrong major. Let's have a talk. But if you choose the major and provide a statement that talks all about why you want to study health, then that's a good predictor of your success in the program, and the program giving you what you need in order to move forward. You want to talk about your personal and professional goals, especially as they relate to health. You want to talk about any relevant experience you've had. And it doesn't mean you have to have 10 years of experience as an EMT. If you've done any job shadowing or if you've done any volunteering in health, talk about that experience. Not because it's an admission checkbox, but because it shows your alignment with what you want to study, and it shows that you're committed to this career goal that you have. It also shows that it's the right career for you. How many of you have children? None? I have a couple children, and when I was having my second child, they asked me if a med student could be in the room. And I said, sure, why not? I work in higher ed, how can I say no, right? So there's a med student in the room as I was delivering my second child. She passed out, like on the floor. There was just too much for her. And I thought, oh my goodness, I would hate for any student to get that far and realize that you don't like bodily fluids, right? So get yourself some access to that kind of environment so you can sense, do I want direct patient care? Or do I want maybe the more administrative side and population health and health education? Because you can work in health in both realms. You just need to know about yourself what you are willing to look at on a daily basis. So more you can talk about in your personal statement that really shows your drive, your motivation to study health, where you might want to go in health. That helps us know that the program will serve you, where the academic shows that you can serve the program, you can do well in it. We look at those equally. I have information sessions at Husky Hall that you're more than welcome to attend. They're usually once a month, and you can find them on the UW calendar, or you can just call me or email me. My information's everywhere, and I'll tell you how to sign up for the next one. Sound good? Great. Thank you.
Things that you'll study in our core classes include public health, health research, epidemiology, and then 2 things that I really like to highlight. Two of the things that I really think are great for students in our major are this Pathways to Health Study and Fieldwork in Health Studies. So the Pathways class, this is what makes it cool, is that you actually spend some time building your career goals and planning your educational pathway through the major. It's a really great opportunity for you to think critically and carefully in kind of a metacognitive way about your own education and how you want to chart that course. And then toward the end of your experience, we have this fieldwork in health. So you're spending an entire quarter translating your academic experience that you've had at UW-Bothell and build some professional practice, build some experience in that non-academic setting out in the real world. This is the real world also. You're partnering with faculty. That class is led by a faculty member, and they're working with you to help kind of prepare prepare for that next step in your career, whether it is graduate school or working in direct service, or maybe trying to look for an administrative or teaching role. So, great ways to customize your degree include some of our electives here. Just a few examples of those classes. There are dozens that are taught every year. Again, kind of that idea that there's just a lot of flexibility within our degree, and so you can really begin to customize your degree for your own interests and long-term goals. We have 3 minors in health studies. We have the straightforward health studies minor. And I wanted to draw your attention, so Stephanie mentioned, like, you're thinking about medical school, if you're thinking about medical school. Well, this is the UW School of Medicine mission statement. Dedicated to improve the general health and well-being of the public, in pursuit of its goals, school is committed to excellent biomedical education, research, and it's dedicated to ethical conduct in all of its activities, right? Okay, what do you study as in a health studies minor? Well, you study the health and wellness at the individual, community, and global levels. So that's right there. And then you understand and critique health research. Oh, wait, there it is right there. And then you advocate for ethics in healthcare practice, right? So even if you do decide you want to be a chem major or a biology major, whatever, thinking about medical school or thinking about dental school or something like that, build in 30 credits for that minor. Because you will begin to examine, you will begin to align yourself with the mission of, let's say, the UW School of Medicine. There are many other great schools of medicine out there, but UW tends to lead the pack a little bit. So, I'm getting double clicks here. We also have a health education and promotion minor. This actually sets you up to become a certified health education specialist, which is the credential that works out in the community to become a health educator. It's a recognized credential. It means that you really have a set of skills sorry, I said set of skills and then I talked about that movie, Take Me. But anyway, you have a specific set of skills that enables you to improve and teach the health of individuals and populations, right? And then finally, we have a minor in global health. It's a new minor, really looking much more broadly at social justice and equity across the health systems worldwide, and has a lot of health-related study abroad opportunities. We have our own faculty that are leading health study abroads. You can access study abroad opportunities more broadly through the University of Washington, or even in much larger space. I just got an email yesterday from a student who is returning from University of Western Australia, where she did a bunch of health-related work while she was studying abroad, and needs to translate those credits back into lawful equivalencies. So, plenty of other resources out there for you to explore your career, get prepared for graduate school. I can't say enough good stuff about Stephanie. She does stellar work here. So if you are thinking about any of the pre-health fields, it's not just medical school. That's kind of the 800-pound gorilla. But physical therapy, occupational therapy, physician assistant, that there are plenty of health-related fields that don't end with MD. Okay, and so. Spend some time with Stephanie getting to know those options. And then if you do need help, our offices are just down the hall here in 211. We're open 8 to 4. You can easily email us at UWNHS and we'll get back to you within a day. So, any questions while you still have me? I need to turn it over, I think. Okay. Thank you for indulging me in your little movement back and forth. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to talking to you more soon. Oh.